reignited with my twin flame after 3 years of running. I was ecstatic to have him back in my life. 18 months later, however, it was a different story. I was exhausted from being on the constant emotional roller coaster of push and pull, forever alternating between shared moments of closeness followed by his silences, contradictions and denials. I was ready to get off the hamster wheel of twin flame insanity. When I met a man who treated me with respect and consistency and who echoed my desire to start a family, I grabbed onto this chance without hesitation or guilt. Within a year I was married and had a baby, and for the next 8 years concentrated on building the family I had always wanted. Despite my twin's attempts to include me in his life, I kept him at a distance, often with long gaps between our infrequent emails. I wasn't consciously avoiding him, I just couldn't for the life in me understand what he wanted from me when all he had done after our reunion was to avoid and delay seeing me when I had hoped to be his friend, lover or whatever. I felt like I had tried everything, given everything, yet he was still a complete mystery to me. Nevertheless, throughout the years I was always genuinely happy to hear from him and shared my news with him as I would an old friend, with all the love and affection I felt for him. Of course I knew that I harbored many unresolved feelings for him, but it was easier to stay away from him rather than having to face them and go through the disappointment the interaction with him always inevitably brought. I didn't realize until much later that while I had resented my twin for reverting into his safe marriage, I had done the same by jumping into mine. As the years went by, I knew that my twin flame was still struggling to find peace, love and meaning, and he often conveyed this to me in his emails. He told me how proud he was that I had realized my dream of having children and settling down. As his 40th birthday approached, and despite the fact that he was still married, his restlessness seemed to only grow. Home, he said, was becoming increasingly elusive. Even though I was fully committed to my marriage and loved my husband, there was no denying that as the years went by I started to deeply yearn the connection that mirrors and gives it back to the other. Although I had always known that I did not have such a connection with my husband and had accepted it, I could never forget what it had felt like to meld essences with another being and to see them filled with that energy, that vibration. Naturally, as my marriage started to deteriorate for unrelated reasons, it was that same energy that I now sought for comfort. My husband was often away for months at a time, and I was struggling to balance work, my health and caring for my 3 small children in a country where I had no family and barely any support network. The only time I would have to quieten my mind was in bed at night, and this is where I would always feel my twin's presence. I started to seek out the calming, spiritual energy that he represented for me, and in fact for a period of about 2 years those moments of connection were the only moments of solace and comfort I could find. Oftentimes the last thing I would recall before falling asleep was his energy coming to me, and in the mornings I could still feel him lingering in the room, as if he had just left. Yet in the real world I had no contact with him and had not seen him for 8 years. We hope this channel has helped you discover where to start on your actual paths. It's a good karma to put a like, subscribe and share. Leave your suggestion in the field below. With all the love to you.